Hi, welcome to topic 2, Principle of Ecology. In this video, you will learn about a tolerance limit, species interaction, and ecological succession. Do you know that all species live within limit? A variety of factors can affect the number of organisms in a population. Sometimes one factor known as limiting factor is more important in regulating population growth than other factors. Environmental factors exert selection pressure and influence the fitness of individuals and their offspring. For this reason, species are limited in where they can live. These limitations are due to environmental factors such as moisture, light, pH, nutrients, and others. For example, polar bears only live in a cold and freezing temperature like tundra, but cannot survive in a hot temperature. Other than environmental factor, competition and predation can also regulate the population size. Victor Shelford stated that each environmental factor has maximum and minimum levels, and they are called tolerance limit. To live in most ecosystems, an organism must be able to survive a range of conditions. There are three ranges of tolerance. The optimum range is where organisms do best. Outside of that are the zone of physiological stress, where survival and reproduction are possible but not optimal. And outside of this zone are zones of intolerance, where life for that organism is impossible. As a principle, organisms that have a wide range of tolerance are more widely distributed than organisms with a narrow range of tolerance. The requirements and tolerance of species are useful indicators of specific environmental characteristics. The presence or absence of such species indicates something about the community and ecosystem as the whole. For example, lichens are indicator to air pollution because they are sensitive to sulfur dioxide. Eastern white pine is also used as air pollution indicator because it is extremely sensitive to ozone. Fish species like trout require clean and well oxygenated water. Thus, it can be used as an indicator of water quality. Competition can happen either with same species or different species. Organisms compete for resources that are in limited supply. Organisms also compete for food, living space, specific site for activities, and mates. Plants usually compete for growing space, while animals compete for living, nesting, feeding, and mates. Competition with same species are known as intraspecific competition. Normally, due to reduced competition within the same species, the younger will disperse from their mature. Some exhibit strong territoriality and some partitioning between generations. Competition with different species are known as interspecific competition. It occurs when members of two or more species interact to gain access to same limited resources such as food, light, or space. Predation is a situation in which an organism of one species captures and feeds on parts of all an organism of another species. Predator is any organism that feeds directly on another living organism, while prey is an organism that is captured and served as a source of food for a predator. Herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores are predators because they feed on live prey. Meanwhile, scavengers, detritivores, and decomposers are not predators because they feed on dead animals. The predators and prey relationship will affect the life cycle of predators and prey. It also helps species to specialize food for food obtaining mechanism. Lastly, the predation also create evolutionary adjustment in behavior and body characteristics that help prey escape being eaten and predators become more efficient to catch their prey. Symbiosis is a relationship of two or more species live intimately together with their fate linked. There are three types of symbiosis. The mutualism is the interaction of two species in a way that benefits both. For example, honeybees may feed on the male's flower nectar, picking up pollen in the process, and then pollinate the female flowers when it feeds on them. The parasitism occurs when one species gets benefits and the other one is harmed. For example, take worms that cause disease and live inside their host. Lastly, commensalism is a species interaction that benefits one species but did not harm the other. For example, orchids that attach themselves to the branches of large trees to get a better sunlight and nutrients, but does not harm the tree. The types and numbers of species change in response to changing environmental conditions such as volcano eruption, fires, and clearing forests. The normally gradual change in species composition is called ecological succession. Succession is a regular and predictable changes in the structure of a community, ultimately leading to a climax community. There are two types of succession. A primary succession is a succession progression that begins with a total lack of organisms and bare mineral and also surface water. Normally, it takes extremely a long time to reach climax community, whereas a secondary succession is a successional progression that begins with the destruction or the disturbance of an existing ecosystem, such as maybe fire or volcano eruption. Okay, the process proceeds rapidly than primary succession. Description of ecological succession usually focus on changes in vegetation, but these changes will also affect the shelter and food animals and their communities. Thus, primary and secondary succession tend to increase the biodiversity and interaction among species. That's all for this topic. Don't forget to do the activity to gain more understanding about this. Bye.